What'd you think of your performance tonight?
I don't know, man. I think it might be time to go to 54, yo.
We heard that. We all heard that. This is foot in mouth #1.
Did you feel differently?
I felt good, but I just, I feel like at 54, I'm gonna be way better, and my pop gonna be how it's supposed to be. I'm getting older now. I'm 27. I'll be 28 next year.
That a foot in our mouth part 2.
I was going to ask you about unifying these titles, but it sounds like you're ready to get out of 147.
No, I mean, if we can get one of these guys and stop playing, yeah, let's make it happen, But if not, man, 54, here I come.
Foot in our mouth part 3.
Either we come for the rest of these belts, or we're going to 54 and campaign there and collect them belts there.
This boy can't stop putting his foot in his mouth, man. This boy must love Owen foot taste.
You've said that 154 is a poppin' division. It certainly is. Deep, really 1 to 15. If you could move up next year and challenge anybody, who would it be?
Anybody at 154, anybody with a name.
This interview is directly after the fight with Jaron Boots the last time, where he struggled to impress. And I don't think it's anything to do with anything other than the style matchup, really. Jaron Boots is a nightmare for anybody who's a boxer puncher. A pressure fighter would have problems with this guy. He's a problematic type guy. His style is very awkward and it reminds me of Madrimov in a sense. But at the same time, this isn't the problem. It's nothing to do with the weight class. He keeps on mentioning 154, keeps on mentioning 154. So then Turkey hears about this and says, oh, you want to fight at 154? Fight Virgil. Virgil's supposed to be bigger at 154 and we got him over there at Golden Boy. And whatever I tell Oscar to do, he's going to do. To say him take off that clapback Thursday thing he was doing on them platforms. I told him to stop doing the clapback Thursday, and clapback Thursday is done. So if I say that you're going to fight Virgil, then that's what's going to happen. You get me? Virgil seems to be all up for it. Virgil's like, yeah, I want this fight. Come up here and fight me. You're talking about you want to go 54. Come 54 and come fight me. Boots turns around and says, well, I don't want to go 54 just yet. I want to unify the division and become undisputed. Now, I understand that fully, and it makes sense to be undisputed in a weight class. And I wouldn't say that you're ducking Virgil Ortiz to become undisputed in your weight class. But at the same time, you were the one, Jaron Boots Ennis, you were the one that kept on touting that you need to go upstairs to 154. You can't make 147 anymore, and there's no fights out here, and I think I need to go to 154 because I'm just flat down here at 147. You said all of that. No one asked you that. This is information that you volunteered. But when the fight gets put to you now, you're talking about you don't want to go up to 54. And I remember you saying that you wanted to fight Crawford and you want to fight Crawford, this, that, the other. Crawford's at 54. Go up to 54 and fight Crawford. This is what the fans are saying. And I fully understand them. And I get that they're calling you a duck. They're calling you Puss in Boots now. This guy's name's Jaron Boots Ennis. Boots is his nickname. Yeah? Jaron Boots Ennis. Now they're calling you Jaron Puss in Boots Ennis, Red Boy. They're mocking your life. They are mocking your life over there. Calling you Puss in Boots. That's so hilarious. But you brought this on yourself by talking about how you want to go to 54, but now you're going to stay at 147. And now they're even talking about you fighting Teofimo Lopez. If you fight Teofimo Lopez in your next fight and you don't fight another champion, being either Elmantis Stanlionis, Mario Barrios, or Brian Norman, if you don't fight one of these 3 guys in your next fight, then I will turn around and say that you're ducking Virgil as well. If you fight anyone other than them man there, I don't care if Teofimo says he wants to fight you and all of this. And even though I thought that was some rubbish, I then heard Bob Arum come and double down and treble down saying that things are in motion to get that fight over the line. Now, I don't see why you should be having that fight, because if Teofimo Lopez wants a belt, why won't he fight Brian Norman, who's also at Top Rank? I actually remember a little while ago, Bob Arum trying to make a fight with Teofimo Lopez and Brian Norman. And if Top Rank wants one of their fighters to fight you, why not make the unification between Brian Norman and Jaron Ennis? Oh, I know, because Brian Norman has no name value. No one will buy a fight with Brian Norman and Jaron Ennis. No one will even care to tune into a fight with Jaron Ennis and Brian Norman. this is a dead fight to the fans, apparently, according to the promoters, because no one's talking about that, but they're talking about you fighting someone from a lower weight class. Because right now, Teofimo Lopez is the WBO champion in the weight class below. It's not even like you're the WBO champion and it's WBO champion versus WBO champion. You're the IBF champion. And the weight stipulation, the next day weigh-in, won't bother Teofimo as much as it will bother you, because Teofimo's coming from a lower weight class. Why are you fighting someone from a lower weight class? I'm saying if you fight this guy from a lower weight class in Teofimo Lopez, then you ducked Virgil Ortiz, my guy. Because you said you wanted to stay at 147 to unify and become undisputed. You got one of your brethrens in the car with you doing this interview saying, I'm seeing the rumors and everything's misunderstood about me. I want to be undisputed. That's a legacy situation. And I fully agree with you. Being undisputed in your weight class, that's a legacy. That is history. That will be in the history books forever. That Jaron Boots Ennis was undisputed welterweight champion at some point in his life. But if you don't fight one of these champions next in Almantis Stanlionis, Brian Norman, or Mario Barrios, and Mario Barrios seems to be having a fight with, or trying to work out a fight with Conor Benn. So at the end of the day, unification will trump any Conor Benn fight. Because I don't know how Conor Benn can be on suspension for how many years, 2, almost 3 years, but when he's come back off of suspension, all of a sudden he's the WBA number 2 mandatory and he's the WBC number 2 mandatory. How does that work? How does that work? But that's the situation, and they're going to try and push for that fight, bro. You better fight Emmanuel. I think you should push for that Brian Norman fight, because that's the fight that was supposed to happen, but I think Brian Norman suffered an injury or something like that. So Almantis Stanlionis ain't bad either, but you need to get one of those fights happening, because, or Mario Barrios, any one of these champions, get it happening. If I see you in the ring with Teofimo Lopez before you unify any of these belts, then I'm going to call you. I'm going to jump on the your ducking bandwagon, and I'm going to jump on the Puss in Boots bandwagon. Yeah? So you better have this unification fight, and you better go and do the undisputed thing, bruv. Because when I see Terence or Usyk or Canelo go on their undisputed run, they ain't looking at any other fighter other than the next champion, and the next champion, and the next champion. It's simple as that. So if you go and do anything other than that, my guy, you ain't this boogeyman what they always trying to make you out to be when Terence was down there at welterweight before he had the fight with Errol Spence Jr. They were saying that you were supposed to be some boogeyman. Bro, if you don't do this situation, if you don't go and unify this division, 1, you're not only not the boogeyman that everyone makes you out to be, but 2, you're also Puss in Boots certified, my guy. Puss in Boots certified. I ain't got no time for these guys no more. Yeah? They look like they're on the right path. They look like they're looking to do the right thing. And then all of a sudden, stuff like this comes out. Some joke thing in boxing. This is why I say boxing is getting on my nerves. Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.